When you make the decision for yourself to really focus on yourself and go inside and shine that light into the dark spaces that live within each and every one of us, when you decide to do that, your life begins to change, and how you experience your life and the level of peace and happiness and fulfillment that you begin to experience is going to change significantly. I'm Iris Siriani. I am a self-love coach and a spiritual mentor. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for being here. If you are a new viewer, thank you also for being here. And today I want to talk about why self-love is so important and how you can start to have more love for yourself. When you make the decision for yourself to really focus on yourself, your life begins to change. And here's why. We have been raised and conditioned to seek outside validation, outside love, outside acceptance. There are so many of us that are just trying to find a place to belong. And so what we do is we create our life and we create our reality from going outside of ourselves versus going inside of ourselves. And when you go inside yourself and you start to change your thoughts, change how you feel about yourself, learn to value yourself, learn to make yourself a priority, learn to trust yourself, have confidence in yourself, your life cannot help but change. It has to change. It can't not change. Self-love truly is the ultimate gift that you can give yourself. And self-love is not narcissistic, and it's not selfish in the way that society coins the phrase selfishness. It is being selfish, but for the purposes of honoring yourself and taking care of yourself. And the importance of it, as I described, was that it changes the external experience that you have in your life. It changes the way you are in relationships. It has a shift from being needy to being so confident in who you are that you don't allow anybody to come into your personal space that is not in alignment, that is not good for you. So that's just one example. Self-love also pivots you out of being fearful, let's say, around making money and what you do for work and how you're going to pay the bills. It shifts your internal energy so that you align with work that feels good for you. And when you feel good on the inside, your energy has a different vibration. It sends out different signals that then brings back to you different opportunities that are good for you, that perhaps you never would have entertained otherwise. Things like that just start to happen, and they show up because it's energy, it's vibration, it's how we feel about ourselves. So self-love, it builds your self-confidence and it builds your self-esteem, and it helps you to truly trust and believe in yourself because you have a strong sense of who you are and you learn to have really healthy boundaries. It also helps you to trust your intuition. Our intuition is the whisperings of our soul. And it is that GPS, it's that soul guidance that is taking you out of situations that may not be good for you. It may be leading you into different opportunities that maybe feel a little bit scary, and you might have to take a little bit of a leap of faith. But when you learn to trust your intuition, it will always guide you in the right direction. But again, we have not been trained to trust ourselves and to trust our intuition. Haven't we all had those gut feelings like, oh, maybe this person isn't right for me, or no, I don't really want to take that job. That doesn't quite feel right, or I don't want to live in that place, but we do it anyways. And we do it anyways because there's fear that's underlying. And of course, society, we've been trained that other people know better for us than what we know to be true for ourselves. But that paradigm is shifting now. And so self love is really important so that you align with this whole new paradigm shift. And on top of that, when we allow other people to tell us what's best and right for us, that's actually giving our power away. And what we want to do is we want to take our power back. That's self empowerment. That's not being powerful to lord over somebody else or to manipulate somebody else. There's a lot of that going on in the world. We don't need to do that. That is self empowering so that we can show up fearlessly in our own lives. Self love helps you to have self compassion, self forgiveness. We have grace for ourselves. Aren't we all going to screw up? Aren't we all going to feel like we're letting ourselves down, like we're letting other people down, right? So we need to give ourselves grace and forgiveness and kindness and caring and compassion. Do you find it so easy to give that to other people? Your best friend, for example, or your partner, or your spouse, or a sibling, whatever it happens to be. Isn't it so easy to be encouraging and be supportive and forgiving other people? But very seldom do we turn all of that onto ourselves. That is self-love. We're going to go into how we're going to shift into having more self-love so that you do begin to make the shifts in your inner world that will then be reflected to your outer world. So if you think, here's a little baby plant, and if you think of this little plant as being you, in order to take care of this plant, you're going to water it, you're going to fertilize it, you're going to give it sunlight, you're going to maybe dust the leaves, you're going to say nice things to this plant, you're going to take care of it, you're going to nurture it. Self-love is like this baby plant that you want it to grow. If we are always putting ourselves down, thinking badly of ourselves, beating ourselves up, we're going to wither inside and we're not going to shine. We're not going to grow. And like that little baby plant, that's what we want to do for us. We want to nurture ourselves. We want to feed ourselves well. We want to be fully hydrated. We want to exercise, all of those things as well. But we particularly want to pay attention to how we treat ourselves with the things we say to ourselves, honoring how we feel, honoring what our body needs, and paying attention to a lot of the things that we think about ourselves and tuning in to our body. So self-love overall, it's really a big buzzword right now, but is absolutely such a powerful thing to have. And when you do decide to tune into yourself, just know that you are fully supported at this point in our evolution to do that inner work. If you were doing this, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, the collective consciousness, the humanity didn't really support people really going inwards to take care of themselves in this way and really honoring who they are and getting that self-love and validation from themselves. But we live in a time right now where that is absolutely supported by humanity right now. And what it does, by you tuning inward to raise your energetic frequency, it helps to also raise the energetic frequency of all humanity. I have a saying that is, love is the answer. Love has always been the answer. And I believe that to be fully true. And that love, it has to start from the inside. We can't give love out if we don't have that love for ourselves. And I know so many people are working through a lot of really challenging times because of what's happening externally in our world. But by going inward, focusing on yourselves, we will be able to make an impact in the external world by doing this work. So not only does it help you first, it then also helps the collective consciousness that is also rising in the vibration and in frequency and sending more love and more positive energy into the world. It is absolutely so important, but it has to start with us as individuals. So let's start with something basic to help you make that shift into taking care of that little baby plant that I just showed you. It is so easy for us to notice the good qualities in other people, yeah? And notice their characteristics and all of the things that you like about other people. And you know that there's something within you when you notice good qualities and characteristics and personality traits and things like that. You know that there's some work for you to do within yourself when you look at that person and go, God, don't they have an amazing life? Or I wish I had hair like that, or I wish I had a body like that, or it must be nice to have that kind of money. Those types of things, right? So when other people trigger us in that way, we know that we've got some inner work to do, okay? That was just kind of a side note. But as you're looking at the good qualities in another person, this is the starting point that I want to give you a little exercise that you can do. How about turn the attention and focus onto you and look at all of the good things about yourself. There are a ton of good things about you. You've lived the life you've lived up until this point. You have accomplished a lot. What about your personality, your sense of humor? What do you like about who you are? We don't often tune inwards to acknowledge all of the things that are good about us, that we like about ourselves, that are good about who we are. You are a good, kind person, and you are doing the best you can in life. We've all had times where we feel defeated, where we feel we are not doing enough, where we lost a job, a relationship ended, maybe we sabotaged a relationship. We can all recognize our defeats, what our shortcomings, what we perceive as being our shortcomings. But we never focus on the things that we have accomplished, that we like about ourselves, about our personalities, and even physical characteristics. You can acknowledge your perseverance and how you show up in your life. Can you acknowledge the small accomplishments that you made in your life? Can you look at all of the good things that you do on a daily basis? All of the acts of kindness, holding the door open for somebody, letting somebody cut in front of you in the grocery store lineup, all of the ways you are kind, all of the ways that you are generous, and really going inward and acknowledging all of that about yourself. And if you do this, this might feel very uncomfortable, but can I challenge you to do this? Do this for a week. See how you feel after that first week. Tell me how it changes how you see yourself. Do you feel a little bit more confident? Do you have a little bit more self-esteem? Do you have a little bit more of a pep in your step? I hope that you give this a try because it will change how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. It will change your energy. So I hope that you have found this video helpful and leave a comment about what that experience was like for you. And before I sign off, I want to mention that I have created a new guide to everything that I did to change my life through having more love for myself. And there is a link in the description box below. You can click on that link, you can download it. And until the next video, take good care, love yourself, acknowledge yourself. You are valuable, you are worthy, you are lovable, you are good enough, you are more than enough. And there are a ton of things that are so amazing about you, and I want you to see that for yourself. So take good care.